It is a dark and stormy night. A boat on the ocean gets thrashed around. A caveman, trapped in a block of ice, is snapped loose from its bonds and falls into the ocean, taking part of the railing with it, and off it floats. Welcome to Mysteries in the Machine.
Hey, yo, meddling kids! I'm Charlie,
And I'm Ethan.
and this is Scooby's Night with a Frozen Fright. I feel like with a name like that, it should have more oomph, right?
You know, you would think, at least I would, because, like, a frozen fright, like, that, the caveman is intimidating, not necessarily scary.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's scary in a not typical spooky way that we deal with. We usually deal with ghosts.
Yeah.
Or like things that we're like, oh, it's the ghost of this creature or something or other. Like it's a ghost because it's a ghost, because we say it's a ghost. This is just a dude. This is straight up just a person.
This is just a man.
We're scared of it because it is a reanimated person who should be dead, but is not a zombie and is not a ghost of any sort.
Or a Frankenstein monstrosity.
Yeah. It's reanimated not in the same way.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I definitely have confused this one with which one? The snow ghost one? Because like they both have like the frozen fright snow ghost, like I don't know. I associate them for some reason.
That makes sense.
I always forget that he's in a block of ice.
Yeah.
In this episode. Because that's not, I don't know, that's not the thing that leads me to the caveman.
Right.
In my brain.
I get that.
I don't know. Yeah. Was there anybody on this boat, like, worrying about this caveman?
Clearly not. I didn't see anybody on the boat at all. Sorry?
I feel like this boat was already abandoned. Like, there's nobody here. Nobody worried that, like, oh, he snapped off and he's in the ocean. Oh, well. Should he have already melted by the time the gang finds him?
You know, that's what I was thinking. Like, saltwater... I think saltwater melts ice faster. I could be wrong, though.
I know it boils stuff better, right? Salt?
Let me look.
Because I know, don't they say to, like, put some salt in, like...
Yeah, ice melts faster. Yeah, ice melts faster in saltwater because saltwater has a lower freezing point than freshwater. So yeah, well, you're right.
There we go. Guys, I think this episode is the most, like, load of hooey science that we've had. But then again, it is about a caveman who has been frozen in a block of ice who we think has come back to life.
Right. So even then, like, I don't think the caveman necessarily come back to life. It'd just be a corpse.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. Well, the gang is as they are in, like, one of their 2 locations that they ever are. And today they are on the beach. Because they have to find this guy in the ocean.
But we have a larger budget beach. Because we have some cliffs, we have some palm trees. Right?
This is true. We actually have stuff going on here.
Yeah.
On the beach. Fred and Daphne are, like, dancing. Scooby and Shaggy are trying to fish, kind of. Scooby mostly wants hot dogs.
You know, I've actually used hot dogs to fish before, but I don't think that's what he was trying to do.
No, it's not. Definitely. And then what is Shaggy using for bait?
A toy mouse. Because he's trying to catch catfish. Which, number one, Shaggy, those aren't saltwater fish. I don't know what you're doing there.
You know, I didn't think about that. Makes sense, yeah. Well, Shaggy, what is wrong with you? Many things.
Many things, that is true. But Shaggy casts out his line with the toy mouse on it, and it magically wraps around this ice block that has the caveman inside of it.
Yeah, how does it do that?
Great question. But I mean, rope ties itself into knots all the time.
Yeah,
But
I feel like this is just a little bit too shenanigan.
yeah, I mean,
The way it
this
works.
episode is definitely asking us to suspend our disbelief.
Quite a few times.
Yes.
The science just isn't sciencing.
No, they also say he's 2 million years old, which I don't think is necessarily accurate for how old cavemen are.
How long ago did cavemen live? 2.5 million years.
Oh, maybe not.
So probably
Okay.
older.
Okay. I'm wrong.
Yeah, so Velma explains, hey, this guy, he was apparently lost. I heard it in the newspaper. Like, there was a ship that found a caveman, and they were gonna spring him to Oceanland. So we should do that. Why Oceanland?
It's their version of SeaWorld, which
that's ocean. That's
yeah,
like sea creatures. It's fish.
Yeah. What's the point of bringing him there?
Like, I understand maybe as like we're gonna transport him somewhere else. Like, this has a freezer for now. Let's bring him there.
Yeah.
This is the closest to port.
Yeah.
I can understand that. But keeping him there to study him doesn't quite add up to me.
No. These do not seem like the right kind of scientists who would study him.
What is the guy studying? We got trying to talk to dolphins and studying like shrimp or something?
I think so.
Yeah, it's not
Definitely not the right kind of people to study a caveman.
Yeah, it's not quite the right scientists and museum for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So he was lost, and we have to go bring him back to Oceanland because that's where it was headed.
Yep.
And they got a cooler over there, and we don't want him to melt. Because oh no, what would happen if he melted?
Dun, dun, dun.
So we have our two professors, Professor Wayne and Professor Ingstrom.
Mm-hmm. Is it just me or does Professor Wayne look familiar?
Professor Wayne, I believe, is like the same model as like Jekyll.
I think that's where I'm getting that from. We'll see if the trivia has anything to say about it.
Yeah. One of them is like, ooh, what if we could bring the caveman back to life? Wouldn't that be so cool?
And then the guy's like, no.
We'd like him to stay frozen, actually. Scooby is harassing the local wildlife in the Oceanland exhibits.
Yep, he's harassing a baby octopus.
Who actually doesn't mind it. Like, he was just like giving a little coochie coochie goo. And Mama Octopus is like, get the fuck away from my baby. No thank you.
Which,
I'd like
fair,
you
wouldn't want a strange dog touching your baby.
Yeah. No, probably not. And then somebody, the kids leave, and then somebody turns on a heat lamp right next to the caveman. Dun dun dun. He's still in a cooler, though.
Yes.
Like, I think that would melt him, but I'm also like, he's also in a cooler with his not.
It might take a little bit longer than it would if it was out in like room temperature.
Yeah. I don't know. It
But
feels like not the most efficient. Not the most efficient way to melt him. I just want to poke all the holes in this episode, apparently.
You really do.
That's what my goal is today. Because I'm just like, why does this episode exist? It is not the norm for Scooby-Doo.
I don't know. Definitely not one of the most supernatural episodes that we've seen.
Yeah. And where did the gang go after they left Oceanland?
Their second of 3 places they hang out, the malt shop.
Yep. And then what does Shaggy eat at the malt shop? Because it's
an
all
ice
left.
cube sandwich?
Yep. We don't even see him take a bite of it. But Velma's just like, all we have left here is these 2 pieces of bread and an ice cube.
And then Shaggy's like, oh shit, I forgot my fishing rod back at Oceanland.
So he eats a sandwich, and then we go back to Oceanland. Even though I feel like there's no one there, and like, shouldn't it be locked up?
You would think.
Because it's like SeaWorld.
Right, because
SeaWorld is not locked up, has no security, nothing whatsoever.
No, definitely not. But they find the cooler door ripped off its hinges.
The fuck?
Damn.
Did they explain how that happened?
When we get to the end, we'll have to see, because I'm not sure.
I don't remember if they explained that part. Like, they explained everything else of how the caveman was in the ice. But, like,
Yeah.
how do you rip the freaking door off?
Mm.
So they go in the cooler. They find, like, oh no, Professor Wayne's jacket is torn up. Oh no, the caveman is gone and the ice has, like, been melted. What happened?
And
Shaggy's being
Shaggy tries
logical.
to Shaggy tries to call the police, which, is probably one of the smartest things he's done.
Yeah, probably.
But one, the phone line's broken, and two, who puts a phone in a cooler?
Very good question. Very good question.
Because, like, these are all landlines at this point.
Yeah, exactly. So we find the heater, and we're like, okay, somebody did this deliberately. They melted him. What's going on? So we do some, like, digging. We find some footprints in the sand. Giant
Very
footprints
large.
from a caveman.
Dun dun dun. But Scooby's scared, so Shaggy has to carry him while he sniffs at the footprints.
Yes, our bloodhound is too scared. And where do these footprints lead?
They lead to the dock where Professor Ingstrom is talking to a dolphin.
He's using a very strange device that later we find out is he's just trying to communicate with ocean life. Okay.
Cool.
Very cool. I love that he figured out how to talk to dolphins. If
or at
we
least
figure this
translate
out
at least translate human speech to something dolphins can understand and vice versa.
Yeah. Hey, if you figure this out in the 70s, why can't we talk to dolphins now?
That's an interesting thought.
Was it dolphins that did the thing to the boats?
What thing?
Like there was recently, like, some kind of, like, thing happening to boats that marine life was doing things to. They were, like, messing with boats.
Oh, it was orcas, not dolphins.
It was orcas. Okay.
Which technically, I think orcas are dolphins, but whatever.
So clearly, Professor Ingstrom was involved. He was like, hey,
honestly,
hey.
If he was involved in that, I like him that much more. Listen, I want orcas to attack as many yachts as they want. They are free to do so. Yeah,
that's right. It was yachts. He just, like, called up his... Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. He called up his orca buddies and was like, okay, we're gonna get rid of these fucking yachts.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah.
Why wouldn't they want to get rid of them?
Exactly.
It's like parking your car in someone's living room. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't really want that to happen. It doesn't sound fun.
Yeah. But Fred tells Scooby to sneak up on the professor, because clearly the big dog is the sneakiest one of the group, wearing a collar that has metal on it, presumably.
Uh-huh. This is, like, the most ridiculous. Did Scooby pass his stealth check, my DM, sir?
I think no, because he eventually, or if this was multiple stealth checks, he failed the last one because he gets into a bunch of buckets and gets snapped on by a lobster.
Yeah. And then, like, the professor's like, what the fuck is this chasing me? It's clattering. Ah! And then he, like, hides in the dock shed. So I think this was multiple stealth checks, because it's like, he's got to get closer. He's got to get closer. It's like, okay, you're right on top of him. Here's the hardest one. Nope.
Yep.
Didn't work.
So they look in the shack, and it's the caveman.
Ah! Where did the professor go? What's happening?
Who knows? But again, Velma fucking jacked, carrying everybody off the dock into ocean land. But because the pile of people and animals is too tall, Shaggy and Scooby get bonked off on the ceiling.
Yep, it's fine. Also, this caveman has, like, sharp, pointy teeth, bruh.
Yeah. I mean, humans have pointy teeth too. 4 of them.
I mean, this was, like, one shot of him I saw. It was, like, mostly pointy teeth. So I'm like, what?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it was just the one shot. Maybe it was an animation thing.
maybe. But the caveman, um, after chasing Jackie and Scooby around, tries to find the other three, and they're all hanging off of Fred on the coat hook of on the back of a door,
That's got
which
to be a strong door hook, or they have to be very, very light people.
that's got to be like a metal door or something. Because I'd say
There's no
that's
way.
probably like 400 and something pounds on that door at least.
Mm-hmm.
And
And then
then
he
we get.
finds
Sorry, go ahead.
Shaggy and Scooby are hiding behind a curtain, and then the caveman steps on Scooby's tail, and Scooby's like, "Arr, arr." Shaggy gives him a bag to scream into, which I mean it still makes noise. So the caveman like finds them behind there, but then he gives him the bag, which screams back at him.
That's one of my favorite gags in cartoons when a character like screams underwater or screams into something and then releases it and the scream comes out again.
I love it when it's just like a scream trapped in a jar. Like it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
then
back with the other three. Um,
Velma is like, oh, if I know those two, they'll be miles away from the caveman by now. Bruh! Bruh. You don't know them at all, clearly. They always find the
Clearly,
monster.
and then they get chased into the sea lion exhibit, um, where they, I guess, pass their they don't definitely don't pass their deception check to act like sea lions, and two sea lions play monkey in the middle with the caveman with Shaggy and Scooby as the ball.
Yeah.
Sure, and
It's just
apparently there's also a whale in there.
I think we're gonna have to make a new segment on the show, which is just like every time there's a shenanigan, you count it. Like this is a shenanigan. This is a
We need
shenanigan. Like it's
we need a shenanigan counter. Is that what I'm hearing?
yeah. Yeah, every time. Maybe we'll start that up like next season or something. But
Yeah,
like
I say we're kind of too deep into where are you to do that.
we're so deep in it, but I'm just like sometimes there's just so many and you got to be like, "Wow, this episode had like 20 shenanigans. What's going on?"
Yeah,
Which I mean that's also the vibe of Scooby to have
it really
shenanigans. It's just
is.
funny.
Yeah.
So, where are we?
Shaggy and Scooby get launched by the whale.
Yes, they did. Okay, I was like, how did they all meet up again? Yeah, so they got launched. They ended up in a trash can, and they're trying to figure out what the heck is going on. Maybe it's Professor Ingstrom because that's the last person we saw before we saw the caveman. The footprints were leading up to him. Guys,
Right.
come on. Obviously, he's being framed. Come on.
Obviously. And apparently Velma found a clue that we didn't see, which is a map
I
of
call that
like
Deus Ex Machina.
yep.
Come on. We didn't even see it.
And we see an X marked on the map with a map of a current that leads to where Ocean Land is and then a little beyond it.
Yeah. So, and that's where the ship was apparently when it lost the caveman. So it perfectly went through the current and was going to go to Ocean Land anyway. Just as they said in the beginning of the episode. So we send Shaggy, Scooby, and Velma off in a tiny boat to go see what's up with this boat that is still just there. Because did it get shipwrecked exactly?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just stuck. Like it's been anchored down and just hasn't gone anywhere.
I'm just confused on what happened to all the people because we never saw any people, and I don't know. I understand that like we have such a low budget here, but
What did Robert say? 2 paper clips and a hand sandwich?
yeah, basically that is in fact the budget for Scooby Doo. I just want to see some background people. Don't even have to have voices. Just be like, yeah, they existed on this in this plane. So abandoned ship, we found it. Velma's searching in another room, and Scooby gets scared.
He just sees her eyes and that's it. Or I guess her
And she's like,
glasses,
oh,
maybe
come
not her
on.
eyes.
It's just
But
me.
yeah, they go in and the caveman shuts the door behind them and locks it.
How'd the caveman get all the way out here?
How did he get?
I mean, I assume whoever is in the costume had a boat, but
Presumably.
it's like, guys, are you not questioning that? You know, you should be like, oh, clearly it can't be a real caveman because how the fuck did he get out here? What's happening? But also, we find the ice.
Yeah, there's a room. There's a machine making the biggest blocks of ice I have ever seen. Like, these blocks of ice are like 4 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
Who needs ice that big?
Who doesn't? Are you saying you don't need ice that big, Ethan?
I mean, not at any given time. Maybe for like if I needed to like fill a cooler, I could like chip it off, but not a 4x2 by a 2x2x4 foot block of ice.
Clearly, you need ice just for the exact reason that they do in this episode, which is what Scooby does here is he's like gonna ram the door with ice. And then
It's
what
definitely
happens?
gonna work.
What happens instead is he slips, and instead the ice goes straight through the door handle in the shape of a key.
Sure, that's how that works.
The math here is not mathing.
It's not, and honestly, that doesn't even help because the 5 metric tons of ice that the machine puts out is what eventually opens the door.
Like, what was happening here? What is going on in this scene? All right, so why couldn't they use the boat?
Because somebody sunk it.
Oh, okay, the boat was sunk. I was like, what's wrong with it? And then Velma has a hot idea
To use one of the giant blocks of ice as a boat. Which again, saltwater melts ice faster. Bad idea.
Ethan, now don't get cold feet about it.
Oh, shush.
You giving me the cold shoulder?
It was only a matter of time where the fucking ice puns came.
Nice.
Then again, you and Frozen share a very special relationship. So
That we do. So, this is another wild plan. What are we gonna do here?
So Scooby and Shaggy dress up as marine animals. Shaggy as a shark, Scooby as a swordfish, I guess.
I think so.
And it's either a swordfish or a marlin. I can't really tell. But Scooby rams the front of his costume into the caveman's leg? Ass? I don't know. But either way, it's enough to get him to chase them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, don't know why the costumes were necessary for that part.
It's just fun.
Yeah. And then fucking Daphne.
You're so dejected.
She leans over the edge and begins to fall. Velma tries to catch her, but Daphne's heavier than Velma. She takes her. And Fred tries to help them, but they're both heavier than him, so they all fall to the ground on top of Shaggy and Scooby, and then the net they were holding falls on top of them.
I feel like they should have broken Shaggy and Scooby.
Yeah.
And or themselves.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're fine. They all got caught in the trap. And the caveman is like, still coming towards them. We gotta run for our lives.
And then we get the chase sequence backed by a 70s love song that this series loves to do in this specific
7
season.
days a week, yeah. I always love this song, though. I will say that. I don't know why. I just like this one.
Yeah, but if there is a shenanigan, if we do keep a shenanigan counter, if we were to keep one here, there are so many shenanigans that happen during this chase scene.
I want to call another bullshit here, actually.
Okay.
Where when they, like, run away, they throw the net that was, like, on top of them up in the air, and I think if the episode had been long enough, that's where we could have caught him. Yeah. Honestly. It could have, like, the net could have conveniently fallen back on the caveman, because he was, like, 5 seconds behind them.
It could have been.
We needed to have a chase sequence. The episode wasn't long enough. So, yeah, our shenanigans start with the gang hiding in a tank, underwater, in their outfits. They're not even wearing Scooby gear.
Nope, they're just holding their breath.
And then they're running outside near the whale.
They run over the back of the whale. Scooby taps on it, and that somehow is a signal to the whale to blow its nose onto the caveman. Because that's what a
Yes.
blowhole is the whale's nose.
Yeah. I mean, just blow your nose.
The caveman tries to catch. The caveman catches Shaggy and Scooby with an anchor, tries to pull them in, and they drop the anchor on his foot. Great.
Yes. More shenanigans.
That should have broken his foot. Like, anchors are
Yeah.
heavy.
Probably should have broken, all of his foot.
And
Well,
I don't.
it's a cartoon.
Okay. I don't know about you, but I don't really like the thing in cartoons where, like, turtles and their shells are two separate entities and the shell can be taken off.
Yeah, that's like always a thing.
Because, like, turtles are their shells. The shell is part of the turtle's body.
Yeah, it is.
Why?
So, like, yeah, Shaggy and Scooby are hiding underneath turtle shells, I guess. They throw, and then the caveman, like, runs past them. They throw the shells up in the air and run away, and the shells magically go back onto the turtles. Because this is how that works.
Yep, so
But
then
even more.
They jump into a tank, which doesn't drain out the first time, because I guess there's like a laminar flow going on. But
This
is
the cartoon logic. The most cartoon logic.
Yeah, so Shaggy and Scooby jump into this tank. The caveman goes after them. Then the water comes out, along with Shaggy and Scooby and some fish. Sure. The caveman chases Velma, Daphne, and Fred back to the sea lion enclosure, where they run across the sea lion's noses, and then the sea lions play monkey in the middle with the caveman this time. And now we're back on the dock, where Shaggy, Scooby, and the caveman run into the shack and get on and are now riding a motor for a boat.
Yeah, I'm very confused. And then the gang are, like, walking across this rope that I think is there for, like, a dolphin show or something. Shaggy and Scooby grab onto, I don't know what they're grabbing onto.
Some sort of crossbar.
Yeah, just something. And the caveman then falls into the giant clam home. Just the pool of the giant clam. And his butt gets caught in the clam, I guess.
That's how clams work, I guess.
Absolutely. And then what do? He's like, I need help. Somebody help me. He can speak English. Let's go help him.
They throw him a rope, and they pull him completely out of the costume.
I don't know why. I feel like this episode has even more leaps in logic to me than a lot of Scooby.
I would agree with that. Like, even though this series has, like, voodoo and racist depictions of Native American magic and other things like that, and, like, witches and zombies and all that stuff, this is where we draw the line.
This is where we draw the line. Listen. At least when they were using science, like with the dry ice and the pirates, like it worked. Like, maybe it wouldn't work on that scale. I don't know if it would work if it was that big, but
it's at least plausible.
Yeah, but a lot of the things in this episode, I'm just like, that's not plausible. So the shenanigans aren't quite hitting in the way they should. Because I'm like, so much of this is just, like, not making sense. That the shenanigans themselves not making sense doesn't help.
And
but they're stupid kids. Maybe that's why we should just believe.
But who is it that gets yanked out of the costume?
It's Professor Wayne! What?
Wow, one of two men that we met this entire episode.
And then Professor Ingstrom is like, he wanted to steal my invention, because I can talk to fish.
Great.
And then Scooby talks to a fish. Scooby-Doo! Scooby-Doo! Yeah, he just wanted to steal the invention. He says meddling kids.
Yeah, I think this is the first time. This is not the first time we get it, but I think it's the first time it's just meddling kids instead of, like, meddling and something else. Though no inclusion of Scooby, but it's okay.
Yeah. So we have a caveman costume. What are we gonna do with it now? We've never thought about this before. But now we're like, what do
Yeah.
we do with the costume? And then Scooby just keeps it and dances with it.
Sure.
They really just wanted to animate this, I think. They just wanted to
Yeah.
animate Scooby dancing with a lifeless costume of a caveman. And that was why this episode had to exist.
He's having fun.
I'm glad
Let
he
him
is.
be.
I'm really happy that this makes Scooby happy. I don't know if this makes the episode need to exist.
Not necessarily, no.
It's not the worst episode of Scooby Doo, it's just a weird one to me.
It's an episode. I will say that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pop my back. That was fun. Um,
Yeah. Well, what time is it, Ethan? Do you know?
it's terror time again.
Yo, this is actually one of the first episodes of Scooby Doo Where Are You that actually begins in broad daylight. The only other
That's
episode is
wild.
like Decoy for a Dog Napper? You
Why does
remember
that
that?
keep coming up? Why does it keep coming up?
We will never live down Decoy for a Dog Napper.
Not until we get out of Where Are You, I think.
Oh my god. No, not until we get out of this plane of existence. It's fine. We're almost there, Ethan. There's only 4 more episodes left of Where Are You?
That is true. So we also have, I think I mentioned this,
Yeah.
Professor Wayne looks very similar to Dr. Jekyll, and they're both voiced by the same voice actor, John Stevenson.
Yeah. He's often in this show. He often plays one of the extra guys. Not once, but twice in this episode, we have Shaggy physically picking Scooby up to drag him by the collar while he's scared, instead of bribing him with a Scooby. We did have a Scooby snack, but it's not so that Scooby can be brave, it's so that he can think of a way to get them out of the situation.
And I kind of like that subversion, because like up until this point, it had really been a way to make Scooby, a way to bribe him to be brave, right? But this time it's bribing him to be smart.
Please, so. Scooby, please be smart for us. Thank you.
So this episode aired as the 21st after Jeepers It's the Creeper, but it was produced as the 20th. Why do things keep being produced and aired out of order? I don't know.
I mean, at least it doesn't matter for this particular show because it doesn't have overlying plot or anything. Okay, this episode is in like a special Scooby-Doo back to school marathon from Cartoon Network. So they
they had Scooby-Doo marathons frequently. I don't know why this one's special.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's not a whole lot of trivia for this episode, so like, why not have it in here? But it was August 10th to 11th in 2013, and that was 11 years ago.
I would have been just starting middle school when that happened. I think I may have watched this.
I would have been in high school.
Well, you are 3 years older than me, so...
You're a baby.
I am a baby. Shaggy's line, "Am I glad he's frozen in there and we're out here?" became a meme by switching around the locations in a confusing yet humorous manner. I've seen this.
You've seen this meme?
I have seen this.
Okay, I'm like, have I seen this meme? I'm not sure. Interesting. I'm gonna have to look up this meme afterwards.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure if that's familiar to me. I guess this particular episode is very similar with like plot elements to the movie The Thing from 1982.
Have you seen that movie, Charlie?
No.
It's a great movie. I know you don't really do horror. That The Thing is especially, I'm gonna say, grotesque, because there's a lot of like body horror specifically in that movie when it comes to like contortions of the human body. Because like, do you know the premise? Like what's involved with that? No? Okay. So TLDW, that didn't watch. There's this alien that was trapped in Antarctica under the ice for many, many years. Team of scientists is down there. They're doing like some research. They accidentally unearth this thing, and basically it can take over a person's body and also like mutate it.
Oh.
And yeah, like one of the most famous things from that movie is a man, a dead man. His when they're trying to do an autopsy, his chest cavity opens up and has a bunch of teeth in it, and it bites the guy who's trying to do the autopsy. It bites his arms off.
Okay. That's interesting.
So yeah,
Weird.
and that's not even the worst, in my opinion. Not even the worst part of it.
Good to know.
Yeah. But I can see where they draw the similarities because it is the antagonist was frozen, but the element of not really being able to trust who's who, that's not there. But I guess there's some things there.
This person who edited the wiki did in fact think they were similar.
Apparently, may have to ask Josh if he's covered the thing because I don't know.
I'm not sure. So for our miscellaneous, we have disguises. Scooby is a swordfish. Shaggy's a dolphin. Okay.
I thought it was a shark. Okay.
Me too. We had the one Scooby Snacks bribe. And then we had one count of jumping jelly beans.
Love that.
And that's literally it for the trivia. There's like no adaptation, no cultural references, nothing. This is why this episode is weird. There's nothing happening. Nobody cared about it to adapt it.
No.
Apparently.
Besides being part of a marathon 11 years ago, apparently.
I'm surprised Cartoon Network even cared.
Nobody else seems to.
No one else cares. I'm sorry. Like I said, I like the chase sequence song. That's about it.
That's fair. So just to kind of bring this around full circle, we have our rap sheet for Professor Wayne. False imprisonment, 3 counts, 3 years each. 2 counts of attempted murder, life sentence, 1 count of animal abuse, 3 years, and 4 counts of menacing, 3 years apiece, which makes 2 life sentences plus 21 years in prison. This man.
Damn. Okay, there you go. Whose side are we on, though?
It's a great question.
You know what? He's trying to steal someone's intellectual property, and we already don't like AI for doing that kind of shit. So
right.
I'm not going to support him for that fact.
No.
By that,
we're not going to do that.
I will be on the side of the gang.
All right. Was this a good mystery, Charlie?
No.
I
mean, it was kind of just a straight up, this guy did it. Because he's very much trying to point it at the other guy instead. Yeah,
we had a 50-50 shot as far as like who did it, and yeah, not a lot of intrigue when it comes to who was going to do it.
Yeah. I'm wondering. I'm remembering the next episode as one that I particularly like. I don't remember if the mystery itself is very good, but I just remember it being a fun one to me.
I enjoy it. It is iconic.
There we go. That's all that matters sometimes.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, there are many shenanigans in that particular episode.
So many shenanigans. We love shenanigans.
Yeah, I'll write down the shenanigan counter for next season.
Yeah, that'll be a new thing. And next season's episodes, so the new Scooby-Doo movies, those episodes are longer. If you didn't already know. Those episodes, I think, are like 40 minutes long.
Okay. I just put shenanigan counter ? Under the new Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah, they're quote-unquote movies. So...
Sure. But that's considerably shorter, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's still shorter than a movie, but it's like...
No, the series itself is shorter than Where Are You?
No, technically both seasons end up being longer, only by a couple episodes.
Okay, so about the same amount of time. Cool.
It was like 27 episodes of
nice.
New Scooby-Doo movies.
Solid.
And then we'll be on the Scooby-Doo show for a long time. Because that has 40 episodes.
They're not on HBO, and that makes me upset. It's fine.
Yeah, some of them aren't.
We'll get there when we get there.
We sure will.
Well, Tubi is free, and that's where they are, so I
Yay,
will do that.
Tubi! Thank you, Tubi. Not
But
sponsored.
unfortunately, there's ads. I wish Tubi would sponsor us. To be frank with you,
It is one of the better streaming services because it's free.
that's true. I mean, free with ads, but free nonetheless.
All right, let's get the fuck out of this episode because I'm done. Um,
Me too, bro. Me too.
all right, gang, we're gonna go split up and look for clues for our next mystery, which I'm so more excited for than this episode.
Same.
Bye.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast socials at Mysteries in the Machine Pod on Instagram. You can send a message to our email, mysteriesinthemachinepod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Ethan, on Instagram and Threads at ethan.t.hewlin. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram.
I don't know. I just live.
Yeah, not for much longer though.
Leave me alone.
Charlie, you know that's what's happening.
I just live here in this recording. That's it. That's what's happening.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
I only exist in recording space, not in real space.
Do not perceive, Charlie. They do not want to be.
Do not perceive me. How dare you try to perceive me? No Scooby snacks for you.
Nope.
All right, we have sufficiently spooky opening.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's certainly ominous. I don't know if it's spooky necessarily.
Ominous, yes. Spooky, not so much. Because it's not like anything like ghostly or monstrous necessarily.
This is sure an episode.
It's an episode.
It's an episode that I always remember, but I don't know why. So
the Scooby-Doo TikTok actually recently posted the end of this episode on their feed for some reason, because whoever's running the Scooby-Doo TikTok is fucking unhinged, and I love them.
Okay, I need to follow this TikTok.
Robert sent it. No, Robert said something else Scooby-Doo
Robert
related.
said something else Scooby-Doo. All right, to watch after we finish the recording.
Yes. But you never look at TikTok, so
listen. I just don't open it. I just don't open it. Okay.
This is why I don't send you things on TikTok, my dude.
It's okay. I have a lot of things from you on TikTok. I'll get to it.
Yes, eventually.
It's fine.
All right, here we go. I'm ready if you are.
Mm-hmm.
All right.